Nerderotic.com.
Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy whatever. Hope you're all enjoying the holiday season. Allow me to piss on it just a little bit by talking about Doctor Who. Now, thankfully, Doctor Who Series 11 is over. There will be no episode to annoy us this Sunday. And it's very sad to say, I'm actually happy that it's not airing. I'm happy that it's delayed for 1 year. And it kills me to say that. But the audience has spoken, folks. Again, I did not plan on doing a follow-up this quickly on the Rotten Tomatoes score, but when it drops 9%, it's worth talking about. We also have to go talk about these top critics. I want to read a couple of their reviews as well. Also, the US ratings are in, and they tell a much different story than the UK ratings, which I find curious. First, we're going to take a look at the top critics, and I admire Liz Shannon Miller for being the one voice of dissent in this. Lovely intentions, but upon deeper inspection, saying little. She is the only one who gave it a rotten score. And then we go to Kelly Connolly, who just is looking for one thing in Doctor Who, and it's not entertainment, folks, and she's from The Atlantic. The fact that this season, the first to star a woman in 55 years, was so interested in how long it takes to affect change and how many people have to suffer in the process, played like a response to the history of the show. Oh my God, but wait, it gets worse. The commitment to change was also evident behind the scenes, where Chibnall assembles the show's most diverse slate of writers and directors yet, in terms of both gender and ethnicity. And look what we got, by the way. Under the new showrunner, the Doctor wouldn't be fixing the world until Doctor Who fixed itself. Yes, so identity politics are the most important thing to Kelly. It's more important what's in your pants or what color your skin is than actual talent or seeing you as an actual human being. She sees the world as a bunch of pets. What do you want to bet Kelly doesn't even know that Doctor Who's first producer was Verite Lambert and the creator of the Doctor Who theme was the brilliant Delia Derbyshire? Kelly Lawler from USA Today says, fans who have waited years or even decades to see themselves in a certain time-traveling alien will finally get their wish. And if you're speaking about adults, actual adults who have to identify with a character, see themselves in a character, I've never gotten that. You know, I don't identify at all with Buffy Summers, but I liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it was one of my favorite shows. Rachel Cook from New Statesman, I'm too old for the Time Lord's adventures. A great weariness came upon me as she explained her sonic screwdriver to her charisma-free new pals, but still, I couldn't be more glad that the Doctor is at last a girl. So the common theme here is the Doctor's just a girl. We did it. We took something away from the boys. But it's more than that. You took something away from the boys and girls, men and women who were Doctor Who fans before this to impress Rachel, or to impress Lucy Jones, or to impress whatever critic you wanted to impress. And that is fleeting. They have already forgotten about Doctor Who. And you didn't impress Rachel enough to even get her into the show. She was just happy it was a girl. Let's check out a few of those new audience scores from Rotten Tomatoes. I had done a video 4 days ago about the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and they have dropped 9% since then. All the command and wealth of knowledge the Doctor had has now evaporated to this shameless circle jerk of political correctness. For all the praise the series gets for having a female Doctor and a diverse range of races being cast, it humors me to see how the show still stereotypes women as basically being dumb, being victims, and extremely good at talking about nothing, laced with the occasional whine about how the universe is unfair to them. To see how this has washed over the heads of the SJWs who defend this show in such a callous, toxic way displays how shallow they truly are. Great point, Adam. And people were tripping over themselves to praise Jodie for the line of, if I were a bloke in the Witchfinders, which a 2,000-year-old Time Lord where gender doesn't matter wouldn't say anything about. He/she would be aware of the time, has been there before, knows what's up. This series is a complete insult to everything Doctor Who is, or was. I thought the Matt Smith era was bad. Yeah, I like Matt Smith. But this brings the show to a whole new low point that it cannot rightly be termed as entertainment. I was able to get through a couple of series of Matt Smith era, but by episode 4 of this series, Arachnids in the UK, I was ready to quit. Remarkably, I sat through all the episodes and feel dumber for doing so. Everyone involved in making this series should seriously take a long look at themselves and what they made, and feel nothing but shame for creating such a monstrosity. In the end, that's the only monster that existed in this entire series. The series alone. Susan C. 1 star. First they came for Star Wars, then they infiltrated the brain of J.K. Rowling, then they usurped Star Trek. Now they've killed Doctor Who. Invasion of the SJW franchise snatchers is destroying entertainment. Mad Nick. This is not Doctor Who. I've been watching the show ever since it was rebooted in 2005. The show had its blunders, but nothing like this. This season is a preaching session. Doctor Who has turned into a vehicle to advance and preach ideology, rhetoric/politics, rather than creating good and entertaining sci-fi stories. I am actually baffled how the BBC can put this kind of nonsense out for the whole world to see without a shred of embarrassment on their faces. BN. An utter disappointment. As a woman, I was surprised to see the 2,000-year-old first female doctor acting like an over-enthusiastic child as her main character trait. I think that Jodie was miscast for the role. Another more experienced actress who maybe had some idea about the show before would have been a better choice. No real authority or gravitas to her performance. Just a copy of Tennant and Smith's doctors at their most childish with no clear personality of her own. As for the writing, dear heavens, where do I start? I have fallen asleep and checked my phone more during this series than, well, ever. I know that the Daleks will be back in the New Year's special, but I shudder to see how they will be portrayed. I guess Chibnall did decide to go with the classic monsters after so vehemently saying that he would not bring them back, but I guess desperate measures have to be taken to save this mess. Oh, I have to make a correction. It has dropped to 35%. It has dropped a percentage point since I started recording this video about an hour ago. And now let's get to those US ratings and the very interesting way Variety decided to report it. Jodie Whittaker to return as Doctor Who in 2020 amid strong US ratings. I think the picture actually tells the real story, and that's what we're going to use as our thumbnail. Doctor Who will be back on global screens in early 2020 with Jodie Whittaker returning to her groundbreaking role as the show's first regular female Time Lord. The show was renewed by the BBC amid mixed overnight but strong consolidated numbers in the UK and strong ratings in the US. Not necessarily true. British viewers tuned in droves to the first episode of the current season, with 11 million viewers consolidated. Well, it actually was like 10.9, which was brought up from 10.54 because they found 400,000 viewers somewhere. It was the second biggest drama audience of the year and the best launch for Doctor Who in a decade in the UK, so that's since Tennant left. Overnight ratings declined steadily over the course of the series, falling to 5 million for the 9th episode, 7 million consolidated. Sunday's finale delivered 5.3 million viewers. Amidst all the spin and the percentages they're about to throw at you, they forgot one, 50%. A 50% drop from the premiere to the finale, and that has never happened with current Who. British tabloids and Nerdrotic have suggested that the viewers tuned out because the new season was too politically correct. But the fall in overnight ratings is not unusual and follows that of earlier seasons. What they mean by earlier seasons is the last couple, the Capaldi era, which wasn't his fault. It was bad writing, a lot of delays by the BBC, but let's get to those US ratings of Capaldi. Now, this is season 10 of Peter Capaldi, and we are just comparing finales, and his was a .20 in the 18 to 49 demographic, 655,000 viewers, and let's keep in mind, this was July 1st. It was summer on a Saturday. Now, here in the States, the time that people watch the least TV is the summertime, and the day we watch the least TV is Saturday. Now we go to Jodie Whittaker's finale, The 13th Doctor, December 9th, 2018, on a Sunday. She got a .18 here in the States with 706,000 viewers. So she's got a little bit more viewers, but here's the deal. This is prime time in the States. The time of year in the United States where people watch the most television is in the fall. And the day we watch the most television is a Sunday. She was given every opportunity and she barely beat Capaldi's ratings, which were widely considered bad and on decline, and the show was about to get canceled, and that's what brought on this big change. The spin doesn't end there. In the US, Whittaker and her team notched a ratings win for BBC America, which said it was the fastest growing scripted show of the year. Let's go take a look at how many scripted shows BBC America has. This is an outdated list from Wikipedia. They have exactly 2 original scripted shows, Doctor Who and Killing Eve. Ahead of Sunday's final episode, BBC America reported that the show was up 47% season on season, with young female viewers driving the growth. The show averaged 1.6 million viewers through its first 8 episodes in the US. That is not true. According to the numbers here, through the first 8 episodes, it's very interesting that they just chose to pick the first 8 episodes. My math says they average about 1 million viewers per episode. And the reason they picked the first 8 episodes, because if you add the final 2, it brings it down about 20%. The season average for America was about 871,000 viewers per episode. So the BBC and the creators of Doctor Who have gotten what they want. They got more young female viewers, but at what cost? I wonder how many male viewers they lost. That's a number we'll never hear. My guess is by the time season 12 rolls around, it'll be around 60%. I think I'm being nice about that. And they've used up all of their goodwill, just like Star Wars did with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and Star Trek Discovery did with Star Trek Discovery Season 1, and Marvel Comics did for the years of 2015 and 2016. And we've all seen the data from that. It's all been bad. Doctor Who will not be any different. I've said this before. It is undeniable that the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes is at 35%. It's undeniable that there was a 50% drop from the premiere to the finale in both the UK and the US. And they're going to get killed in the secondary market. The Blu-ray sales will not be good. There will be no toy sales to speak of. The merchandising of Doctor Who, which is a huge part of its income, is going to be down the tubes. And I'm really curious to see what the ratings are in like Australia and other countries. I'm sure they reflect what's going on in the US. So every time the BBC tries to spin this crap, we will be here to point it out. This is the place where you have a voice. So if you like what you hear, please like, share, and subscribe. We do recap television live here 15 minutes after it airs if it's not on a streaming service. Please check out our live streaming schedule at nerdrotic.com. We do 3 live streams a week, Monday and Wednesday, the Nerdrotic Nooner at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and of course Friday Night Tights, Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, whether you like this show or hate the show, I truly want you to have a good day, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.